Today, on this episode of Metal and Mortgages, we're going to talk about Hurricane Florence,
binary code in the universe,
Elon Musk getting Californicated,
and 3 days grace breaking some records.
I'm going to try to rhyme the obituaries, then I'm going to pull my own finger. Episode ones and twos. That's 12 to me and you. 3 into the 4.
Who's at the door?
Bob, Doggy Dog, and Dr. Derek is at the door. Ready to make an entrance, so back on up, because you know we about to rip shit up. Give me the microphone first so I can talk about Hurricane Florence.
Go for it.
Damn, that almost rhymed. I'm impressed.
It's close.
But you need to get dressed.
What?
For some incest.
I forgot my pants today.
So, Hurricane Florence is about to bounce all over the Carolinas, man.
Yeah, saw that.
I saw some people at gas pumps. They were interviewing. I add my own T's where I want them because I'm Bob from Metal and Mortgages, and that's just the way it works. They were interviewing people at the gas pumps, like they always do when hurricanes are coming. And one lady was like, we've been here before with hurricanes. We're just going to ride this one out. I'm like, there hasn't been a Category 4 of this size, magnitude hit the Carolinas in decades. Now, I don't know how many decades. I'm guessing it's probably 3 or 4. So I doubt she's rode one out there before. I have, ridden out Category 3s, Category 2s, Category 1s. And I bailed for a Category 4 down in Melbourne, Florida. And 3 of them were back-to-back with roughly a 2 to 3 week break in between each one. That was in 2004. After that, I actually moved up here for like 10 months because I couldn't take them anymore. I couldn't take it, dude. It was every 3 weeks there was major damage. My house ripped apart. No, and couldn't get insurance because my home was too old, all that kind of crap. So it's all out of pocket.
Florida used to be a much bigger landmass. We're talking thousands of years ago. But sea level rose when the ice age melted off.
Well, apparently it left a lot of alligators there.
Yeah.
And elderly. Tremonti's tour has been postponed because they were going to be starting it at Myrtle Beach. And I think there's another show down that they were doing like the day after. Also, their drummer's not going to be touring with them due to unforeseen personal reasons. It's kind of interesting. So, I mean, it sucks. But also, a side note, Scorpions royalty checks are going to go up this month.
Really?
Yeah, here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. Do you know how many times that song gets played when there's a hurricane out in the Gulf or out in the ocean?
You know that I think their bass player claims that he went to snuff parties in Germany. That's where he said people pay like 6 figures to watch people get murdered.
Snuff parties?
Yeah.
Man, ain't no party like a snuff party because no, that doesn't work. Well, maybe he should play bass for Ghost. In times of turmoil. In times like these. How can you be satanic, wear an upside down cross on your head, and then be like?
And then your music sounds like pop.
In times of turmoil.
Yeah.
How can you sound like that?
The music does not fit their look at all.
Never to let go. What? And you're satanic? Rats. Oh, wow.
Rats.
Oh, wow. What the hell? So, yeah.
3 Days Grace, apparently. They have a new song out called Infrared. And
excuse me.
Yeah, it's...
No, I'm legitimately tired.
It's on the Billboard charts.
3 Days Grace.
And,
now,
so they've broke records. It was Van Halen's record for 2 decades.
They're the ones who changed vocalists right when you opened for them, right?
I don't know.
Alyssa Ty's opened for them a while back.
I don't know which vocalist they had at that
point. No, they had their new vocalist right at that at that tour.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And apparently that vocalist is related to one of the other band members.
Apparently that entire band is a bunch of divas because they never got off the bus while we were opening for them. I mean, I wasn't in the band, but I helped you guys that time because your guitarist couldn't make it.
Chad did from Hell Yeah when we opened for them.
That's Chad though. Chad's a people person.
Yeah.
See, but they hung out on their air conditioned tour bus taking naps and shit the entire time and never even got off. You would think that they would get off the bus long enough to kind of energize the bands that are opening for them because they're going to be local bands.
No, they don't care.
They get out and energize us. We can energize the crowd. But no, they don't care. They're getting paid either way. I know this. If I was in their position, I would have gotten off a bus. And I like meeting people. I like meeting up and coming bands or just bands that are local bands. Man, it just I don't know. I know I would enjoy that part of it. So the fans, they could kiss my ass. Charity Bomb has announced The Strange 80s 2. It's a second annual benefit concert on October 12th in Los Angeles. It will feature performances covering the timeless anthems of the 80s performed by a rotating cast of band members. Now, I'm going to call out the band member. Let's see if you can guess the band. Okay. A couple of these, I'll admit, I wouldn't know. This one I would. Noodles.
No.
Really? Offspring.
Okay.
Got to keep them separated.
His name's Noodles?
That's what he goes by. Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's their guitarist, is Noodles.
Maybe you say their real name, and then I'll probably
pretty fly for a Wi-Fi. How about Adrian Young?
No.
Exactly. Nobody cares because that's no doubt. How about Joe Troman?
No.
Fall Out Boy. Those guys are actually, dude, I know they don't play your genre,
a lot of people love them.
If you look at musicianship and overall songwriting abilities, dudes have got some skills. I will give them that. They can go from like poppy pop to like kind of heavy stuff. Pretty, that song on the exact same album. So it's just talent, man. They got a lot of talent there. How about this one? Now, this one's a little iffy. You may not know one of the two bands this guy's in. Corey Taylor.
Slipknot, Stone Sour.
Oh, no, it's Led Zeppelin. How about Scott Ian?
That sounds from your Anthrax.
I think one of these, except About to Hear in 12 Colors.
Anthrax.
Yep. He's one of those, I don't get starstruck, but he's one of those dudes that if I did meet him, I'd be like, dude, please high-five me or something, man, because you've given me a lot,
right?
In the last 30 years. How about this one? I don't know. I don't think you'll get this one. West Borland.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
And Black Light Burns.
Come on. Burgelfeist. Two members from Sum 41 that I didn't even care enough to write their names down. Steel Panther.
Yes,
let's see if you get this.
That's your band.
Yes. Well, those guys are awesome. I'm sorry, they're a joke band, but they're all just individually talented as hell. And then they put out, if they ever come this way within like a couple hour drive, I'm gonna probably see if I can go, just because, you know me, I'm into that comedy stuff. So, what about this one? Richard Patrick.
Filter.
If you abbreviate both his name, it's Dick Pat.
9 Inch Nails also.
Dick Pat. There will also be 80s arcade games, exclusive opportunities to interact with your favorite artists, like meet and greets. You can bid on a variety of donated items like rare 80s film props, guitars, and even a Ducati motorcycle.
Look out.
100% of the proceeds raised will be donated to 320 Changes Direction, which is part of a Given an Hour supporting mental health. So it's basically going to help people who need mental health. So, and I think that's great that they're all going to be doing this stuff. I think it's great that all of these guys got together for this one show. The part that I'm interested in is it says that they're going to be covering timeless anthems of the 80s. So I want to see Scott Ian and Wes Borland playing Cyndi Lauper songs.
Nice.
I'm not sure that that's what's going to go down, but it would be pretty cool if that was.
A little birdie told me. Tweet. That
did they tweet it?
That Elon Musk pulled a Bill Clinton.
You mean he did not inhale?
That's correct.
Or he banged 3 ugly chicks and had to pay out a lot of money.
But he was on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, that was. I'm sorry. I know you were less than thrilled with the with the last part of the episode, but
I was so excited.
I loved it. I'm sorry. Even though he spoke really slow and calculated, like I almost wanted to find like a 2x button to make it like roll twice as fast, because he was speaking like he would be asked a question. And then he would answer.
And sometimes Rogan would start cracking up.
Like 3 words.
Yeah.
Like he would ask him this really deep question for Joe Rogan. I thought it was pretty deep. Yeah, well, sure. And that's his answer. Like, bro, you don't get it. We were all sitting here at the edge of our seats.
In the first like 20 minutes, Musk sounds like a robot or an alien. He does. You don't think so? He almost sounds like whenever he was asked anything or his reaction was provoked via whatever, it sounded like he had an earbud in over here, and somebody was behind the curtain talking into a microphone. Okay, here's what you're gonna say. You know, I mean, not that that's what happened at all, but it had that slow feeling to it. Look, there's nothing wrong with pausing and,
we do it all the time.
Thinking about what you're going to say before you say it, so you say the right things. But, I thought he was very odd in the beginning. Maybe it was nerves or who knows, but at some point, even Rogan busted out laughing, and saying, it feels like I'm in a movie or something here.
Well, I mean,
because it is like talking to Tony Stark from Iron Man or something.
I'll admit when he, the slow pauses and the rate of speed at which he talked was a little bit annoying, but that was totally like just overshadowed by the weight or the knowledge within what he said. So it totally made it okay. It was well worth the 2 hours and 37 minutes or whatever it was. The part that blew my mind was not that he took the cone half tobacco half weed joint out of Joe's hand, peer pressure. I don't know why Joe did that to him. Joe should have been like, you want a little of this? No. You mind if I do? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? But he didn't. He was like, here, man. Come on, man. Come on. Hit it.
I don't
You're
know
a
if he said,
bitch.
come on.
No, but it was that. It was
him.
Joe Rogan hands you a joint. I don't care if you're the Pope. You take it.
Yeah.
But what I thought was hilarious was when he was like, you ever smoked that kind before? And he's like, I think so, maybe once. And he's like, yeah, and he took a hit, but instantly came out of his mouth like a cigar. So I'm sure he smoked a cigar before.
Oh, and Rogan said it was mixed with tobacco.
Yeah, but I don't think he's ever smoked a joint in his life, because even the man being a physicist with a bachelor's in physics, not a PhD. He does not have a PhD, or maybe a master's. I don't know, but he dropped out. He was going to Stanford for his PhD, and only went for 2 days and dropped out to become an entrepreneur.
Nice.
So I know he doesn't have his PhD. So, for somebody who's as knowledgeable as he is in the field of physics, you'd think he would know that weed is inhaled. Like, you have to take the hit into your mouth and then hold it in.
I'm sure he wasn't trying to get blasted on a live.
Dude, I'd have got folded, man. I'm worth $20.2 billion. CEO of about 6 freaking companies.
They are sitting there drinking whiskey, though. On the rocks.
He had 6 children. His first child passed away at age of 10 weeks from SIDS. which is terrible. Then he had twins. Then he had triplets. So he's got like a set of twins, and he's got a whatever you call a set of.
You mean
he's got 5 kids. 2 of them are twins. 3 of them are triplets.
So basically, he's got clones.
Ooh,
that sounds.
I never thought of that. Well, now they were
funny.
They were conceived through what is it in vitro, whatever they call that, utilization or whatever.
Well, isn't that kind of? Don't you think that might be kind of a mask for something he actually did, like maybe clone himself?
No, I don't think he cloned himself.
Oh yeah, all my kids are in vitro and they're twins and triplets and this and that. And you know, I thought Rogan was going to go into the launch of the Tesla car into space and you know at least question him on. Why didn't you put a rover on the moon so we could get a live feed of that instead of in one of your stupid cars in orbit and you're just adding to the trash that's floating around the Earth?
Well, there may be a list of certain things he's not allowed to, you know.
They didn't bring up space at all, and Musk is sitting there wearing an Occupy Mars shirt, and he didn't bring up space.
I like that shirt, man. That was pretty cool.
Rogan didn't bring up SpaceX.
He brought it up a little bit.
Not really. Not at all. That
not
should have
enough
been
to Not enough to please you or another.
Look, at least 45 minutes of the show should have been about SpaceX, you know, and what he's going to do, what he has done,
Instead,
and why didn't he do this or
about
that.
30 minutes of it was about getting spaced out because he got effed on that whole thing. He didn't even inhale. And within not even 10 hours later, you know, when the market opened, everybody's on the you know MSNBC and all these you know business news channels. Yeah. The dude from Mad Money, I can't think of his name. You probably never watched that show, but this dude, he's well known. He's been doing stocks and bonds kind of shows forever, and he's real loudmouth and just wild. But he was on you know camera. It looked like he was on the floor of the actual you know NYSE. I couldn't tell though. He was like, well, you know, I think he's making some really poor decisions right now, and it's like, have you ever smoked weed? That he did not inhale. That was not smoking weed, and now the Air Force was like, we're really not sure what we're gonna do here. We don't know how to take it. But the big thing is his security clearance.
He has contracts with the Air Force,
but. The way I see it is that I kind of think that the Air Force needs him more than he needs the Air Force. I mean,
probably. You know, I hope more influential people do that. You know, it's already being legalized all over the place. Look, I don't smoke the stuff personally, but I don't care if other people do. And so, you know, yeah, for somebody to, you know, that's a big step in the right direction. In my opinion, that if somebody like Musk that hangs out with presidents, you know, and is shooting stuff off into space,
Snoop Dogg
and he
Kanye
takes a puff, I mean,
hung out with presidents.
So yeah, people need to back off. You know,
well, just lighten up.
He did what Bill Clinton did, and we elected Bill Clinton after we knew about that, and now everybody's you know breaking this guy's balls. Musk believes that we're most likely in a simulated reality right now. And that your phone, the games we play, whether it's virtual reality or whatever, your social media, everything's an extension, a virtual extension of our real selves.
He said that we are already basically like cyborgs because our cell phones is basically an extension of our bodies now, and we're so connected to it.
Right, but I mean, I think he believes on a deeper level that you know. This is not, like you just pinched yourself, this is not.
Well, you said we were in a simulated reality. I was making sure.
Right. I'm saying that's what I believe Musk believes. He goes further into that as far as, he's just saying there's an infinite possibility that if other life forms exist, that they will have already created a simulation, and we are most likely part of that simulation. James Gates, a scientist that studies these things, he studies string theory. He says that deep in the equations of string theory, which is a theory so far, they find binary code, which means if string theory is ever proven, then the equations that make up string theory is binary code, then that would mean that ones and zeros make up the universe, which would mean it is a simulation. And what string theory is, for people who don't know, is the theory of a multiverse. The universe is as far as our eyes or telescopes can see, such as Hubble. James Webb will see a little further, hopefully to the Big Bang. And so that is in our universe, just like we have solar systems within galaxies, and then there's different galaxies. We also have a visible universe, and string theory is the theory of multiverses, where there are different universes. And in the equations of that string theory, in the math, there is binary code. So if they ever prove that, then that means...
Which they won't, yeah. So basically we're living in the Matrix. Legislators in California passed a bill recently that would require publicly traded companies headquartered in the state of California to place at least one woman on their board by the end of 2019. Now, I'm all for equality in the workplace and whatnot. And I'm all for, women sitting at boards, being on the board, being a valued member of that corporation's board. Mm-hmm. But what is that going to do for the women that are just there because it satisfies a law? You know what I mean? Like it's like affirmative action all over again. I mean, what is it going to say to that every guy there and even the woman who's there because of that law is going to know, shut up, you're just here because of that law, shut up,
And affirmative action, that's still a thing, right?
They don't like to say it, but I mean, there are, but that's in the form now of a lot of things, hiring veterans which is fine. I'm not against it. Hiring people of color or people of a certain sexual preference over normal people or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say normal because that's rude. Over people who are not in any of those categories, particularly white males. So
speaking of white males, Battlefield 5, EA and DICE, which are the developers for Battlefield 5, the new video game for people who don't know.
You mean like DICE, like Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet?
Released their beta. Okay, and so you can game chat in beta and say things. And so someone wrote white man and hit enter, and it showed up on the screen with asterisks. And then someone put black man, and it showed up. Brown man showed up.
What? You mean the actual word brown man or black man?
It showed up in the chat.
But the white man was blocked out.
Edited.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is your garbage truck dude like mine? He cannot just pick the can up, dump it, put it back down. He has to pick it up, slam it down, and then be drive off with it still grabbing it and just drag it halfway down the yard, knock it over with the lid open.
Yeah, I find mine 2 houses down.
Okay, it's not just me.
It was 9/11.
Your battery's shit.
Anniversary, and Trump had a thoughtful tweet, and it said, "It's been 17 years since September 11th."
Let me tell you. I don't ever watch the morning news. I'm usually out the door by then, but 7 o'clock this morning, I was running a little bit late. So I'm in my bedroom. I went in and popped on the TV while I do my morning ritual. And I wanted to catch it right at 7 o'clock so I can see the Hurricane Florence update. I'm very interested in that stuff. As well as I wanted to see what they would say about Trump. Well, Trump had, gone ahead and said, we've got everything in order. We've got FEMA ready. We've got, our military down there. They're ready. We're doing the best we can for you guys. Everything's going to be available, And I knew it. I knew that would not suffice the liberal media. Immediately after that, the news anchor, whoever was doing this story goes, but some people fear that FEMA is not ready and is not going to be able to basically provide, what they need. And then they go to some woman who, I guess, in like Houston last year or something.
FEMA botches the hell out of everything, so they got a point there.
Yeah, but they're blaming Trump for it.
Whatever.
They immediately went. When Obama said FEMA is going to be ready, and we've got our National Guard, 250 members, going to be there, and everybody's like, oh. Yes.
You know what Trump said?
Yes. Trump says it, and it's like, well, we really, thanks, Mr. Trump, but and they never call him President Trump. It's always Mr. Trump. But they still call Clinton President Clinton.
Well, you can play that on both sides. Like, I could go right now and pull up on YouTube Fox News talking crap about Obama saying FEMA's ready. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever's in office, the opposing side, media, whether you want to call it left or right media.
But they shouldn't take sides.
Either
That's
way.
my point. They shouldn't take a side.
Doesn't matter, though. So
They shouldn't constantly be taking a freaking wedge and driving it between us.
That's the name of the game.
No, it ain't.
Fox
Shouldn't be.
News- Fox
No,
News-
the news ought to be.
No, that's the
here's
name
what's
of their
going
game.
on.
That's the name of their game, not our game.
I know.
Their game.
That's crap, though.
You know what Trump said during the actual 9/11 when it actually occurred? He said, the Trade Towers was the tallest buildings in New York City, and Trump Tower was the second tallest, and now Trump Tower's the tallest.
Didn't they get done building the new one?
No, when September 11th
Yeah,
happened,
I know that.
he was on the
Right.
media, and that's
Well,
what his comment was.
Yeah. Well, it was.
His comment says, "Now my building's the tallest."
You're talking about Trump here. We're not talking about a member of Mensa.
I'm just saying.
We're not talking about
but
a
you're
scholar.
saying, well,
okay?
but you're all saying you are saying, well, why do they have to take a jab at Trump? Well, I don't look at this guy.
It's not who it is. It's the fact that like I said, the whole duality, the whole, let's see how he does. Let's see how FEMA and how the military down there handles all of this.
I mean, Puerto Rico got
Then
wrecked.
bitch, dude,
$1 million.
I just seen a photo of Puerto Rico, like literally right before the show, where they have a field bigger than my entire yard, which is over an acre, and it's nothing but pallets of bottled water covered up.
$1 million.
Yeah, covered up with blue tarps.
Yep.
And number one rule is when you don't leave those water bottles in your car, because then they're going to get hot, and you're not supposed to drink it after it gets hot in that bottle.
Supposedly it causes cancer.
Because the chemicals come out of the plastic into the water, which you notice all these gas stations sell that bottled water. They have it piled up, sitting outside the door out front, like $2.99 for 24-pack. Dude, you couldn't give that to me for free. I'm not drinking poison water, So anyway, yeah. But that's just, their leaders down there. The one that was on the news a lot with the glasses who hated Trump, they all ripped off all the money. They stole all the money, okay? They paid their cousins to fix power lines, and their cousins could barely even operate a freaking weed eater.
Yeah, their government's corrupt. So.
Well, there you go.
But the sad thing is that, we like to pat ourselves on the back and say, ooh, we made the iPhone, we made the computer chip, all these things, but yet Mother Nature, man, she comes in all the time and just puts us in check. It doesn't matter how well prepared we are, how much technology we have and resources. It doesn't matter. Right. Mother Nature comes through, and if she wants to take out 3,000 or 4,000 of us, she's going to do it. Well, and that's it.
I know that she needs to ease up on this heat because I'm getting tired of running my AC. It's not the right kind of hat for you to be raiding. Cutting some grass?
I'm ready to go to the ranch, man.
The Bunny Ranch?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, ooh. Skinwalker. Yeah, I downloaded that last night. I paid for it. I didn't illegally download it, but
it's called The Hunt for the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, Jeremy Corbell. I don't know how he landed this. He's a movie director, and somehow he landed this deal. And he worked directly with George Knapp, the guy who originally worked with the NIDS team.
He also guest hosts Coast to Coast.
That's right. He
from
sure
time
does.
to time.
That's right. Time to time, coast to coast. Yeah. So he worked with the NIDS team out there on the Skinwalker Ranch. It was owned by a billionaire. A billionaire bought it, and I want to say 96. I think his last name is Bigelow. I want to say his name is like Bill Bigelow or something like that. He's a aeronautics, billionaire. I think he lives in Vegas, and he had bought the ranch because he was very interested in all the activity going on out there, both paranormal and UFO, and nature. So he bought the ranch, and of course he dumped a bunch of money and got a NIDS team together. He actually founded the NIDS team, and they set up like crazy like camera systems and audio capturing systems and towers, or they could like watch towers that had like fences around them, like big, hardy, fences going around the tower, and they would put a dog inside. I don't know what kind of dog, but they would put the dogs inside of the fence while they had somebody up in a tower, because dogs can sense things that we can't. So they would, if there was anything abnormal going on, the dog would start, going off, and that would alert whoever's in the tower.
The CIA and the FBI have investigated this ranch, like it's been on their radar, and so basically this documentary is about this ranch, and they have UFO sightings and paranormal sightings and Bigfoot probably.
It's in I think they call it Untitled County, Utah, and it's it butts up against, I think it's a Navajo Indian or Native American reservation, which I think might explain some of the events going on there. But yeah, it's an extremely active. It's not active so much anymore, but when they were there, I mean, they captured a lot of very interesting things, things that would blow your mind.
In the house where we had poltergeist when I grew up, my dad actually saw a flying worm with wings, and we had,
call that a moth.
No, this thing was.
Don't
Photoshop this.
Yeah, Mark.
No, it was a flying worm with wings, and it was in broad daylight. He threw a pillow at it and went like a hummingbird and dodged the pillow.
Maybe it was a hummingbird.
And then it poof, it disappeared. And we all
drones
thought
back then. So
we all thought Dad was crazy over the years, talking about this, until I think my cousin's wife found a Reader's Digest, and somebody drew pictures of this thing and had a similar story that Dad told years later, that they saw the same thing and they had poltergeist activity. And we actually found Indian arrowheads in the foundation when Dad built that house and dug up the dirt. He had buckets of Indian arrowheads, and it had
wow.
And the creek that ran behind it was called Indian Creek. There's something called Contact in the Desert.
Is that like a game, or you like smoke
no,
weed
man,
and blow on somebody's
these
face?
are people that gather in the desert, and they do like seances to try to conjure up UFO sightings.
Yeah, there's contact, dude.
No drugs involved, man.
Damn it. Not even peyote?
But there's plenty of these groups out there, and they're manifesting UFOs.
How?
Even pilots, even
you do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, and then they show up.
Even Air Force pilots have went out there and witnessed these things, and they go out there, they get in a circle or whatever in the desert, and they have night vision cameras and stuff, and these things start pulsating on command, way at thousands of feet up in the sky. It's pretty amazing, and it's getting more and more widespread. There's more groups popping up that are doing this. So I think the poltergeist and whatever that bug thing is.
What does poultry have to do with this? I don't know why you keep saying that word.
Clean your chicken before you eat it, kids.
And don't cross-contaminate.
Salmonella is no joke, and neither is malaria. So, or West Nile.
Well, cool. You want to throw in a couple condoms and go watch this movie?